Welcome everyone to the Santa Ana Industrial Lead May 2022 layout update. As you can see, she's looking really clean, well for me at least. Check out the pictures from a couple days ago. So the past couple weeks since the last update, I've spending not very much time on the bridge and a lot more time on the track laying and wiring. So why don't we take a look at everything, and we'll start down here with the bridge. Before we start, I'm going to show this side of the layout real quick, the old half, I call it the old side. But my next video, which is coming out soon, I'm actually going to film it probably tonight and tomorrow because the layout's all clean, is I'm going to do a layout tour. I haven't really done one, I don't think a proper one at least, for sure, since I started building the new part, but we're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so I figured I would kind of go through it industry by industry and just cover the entire thing, talk about it a little. So keep an eye out for that, and that should be my next video. And like I said, it should probably drop this weekend, I think. Like I said, I just got to film it and edit it, but I'm going to walk through the entire layout, stage it up with all the correct cars and everything like that. That should be pretty cool. So anyway, look for that, and let's get into this one. As always, remember, if you like this content, please click the like button and subscribe as well. If you click the bell icon, you can be notified when there are new videos. Thanks. Enjoy the video. All right, let's start with the bridge scene. This is where I left off the last video, which I spent most of the time prior to that video working on this scene. This update, there's not a whole lot with it, but I'll highlight what I did. So I added the styrene on the street. It's 0.040, I believe. Glued on these Rick's Products railings. Then I paint bombed the entire bridge to match this, the train bridge. So right now they're both painted with enamel spray paint, gray and some tan. And then the next step will be painting them with the airbrush and like Tamiya alcohol-based kind of the way Boomer does his, kind of power wash them and then add some other tones to it. The road, let's see here. So the highway street, I've put several wet on wet washes of Vallejo acrylic air paints. I was trying to brighten up the gray to a more concrete-y white colorish, I guess. I don't know, I might be done with kind of painting it. It's a street, right? I mean, the bridge is the main focal point, so I do have to obviously add striping and everything like that. Oh yeah, I added some parts to the Art Deco column here and painted it as well, and then built this little median. It's Rick's Products kind of guardrails or median something or another, and then I glued them with a piece of styrene. So I need to do that for here, and then back, you can't see it, but back in here as well, because there's like a big median there between the two highways, and it kind of narrows at some point. But so that is all I've done here on this scene, I believe, which is good because I was able to do a lot more with the rest of the layout. So let's go check that out. So now we'll move our way back towards the old half of the layout. So this is the Anaheim yard. So everything now is glued down, wired underneath. And so this track here is where the haulers will tie down for the night after they drop off the loaded cars here. And then this is the kind of yard area where we're going to make our local trains from the cars the hauler drops off. And then I did add a track that wasn't in the layout plan, which is this far one that these two GP60s are on. He did let me know when he designed it that I could add a fourth track there if I wanted. There was room, so I ended up making like a, it's like 2.5 foot spur, and it's just for the locals to tie down on. That way they're clear. They're not on any of the, the yard tracks, or because we'll could have cars inbound and outbound sitting on those tracks, taking up space. So they're conveniently right there. I can fit, I think, 3. It looks like, if I need to, if I ever had a consist of 3. But so yeah, the yard's basically done as far as track and wiring. Obviously, no scenery yet. And then this building is just an old one from the other side of the layout I was gonna use, but I'm just sticking it here now. There's like a kind of a yard office there that I'll put something up for that. So here's just a flyover of the yard. With the 3 tracks in the storage track there. And then down here, just glued down the local track here for the old half of the layout. And this track isn't glued down yet. This is the kind of the bridge over here. That isn't glued, and also the bridge track on the big bridge is not glued down yet. Everything else is pretty much down. Obviously, I need to finish this up before I could anchor this track, so it'll probably stay like this for a little while. So this might be the first look under my layout. We're right by the yard here. This is just the wiring. I used Ron's Trains and Things idea, or the way he wires his layout, with sub buses and short districts to limit your shorts to certain areas. So I ended up, I'll show you in a second, but the old layout, I just basically made it a sub bus, the whole thing, put it into that strip there. And then the new layout has its own bus, which travels the entire layout. But and so here's the bus wires, thick ones here, 14 gauge. And then my sub bus is here, this is 18 gauge. And then I just use the IDC connectors for all the feeders. So you can see all the feeders there. Okay, oops, going down. We won't see them once I put the fascia on. And that's the old half, which, like I said, I just made it a sub bus, one giant sub bus. So that whole half is its own district, which should be run by itself anyway. And here's the other kind of the island here. Oh, and I also, let's go down here. So I also hooked up the SB5 kind of permanently here. Well, it's not permanently yet, but it's here. And I was trying to minimize the run of the cords to these UTP panels, I think they're called. I have 4 of them. So I put them all around the island, actually. I think 4 of them, so that I can obviously control this half of the layout. And then all I have to do is turn around to get this half. So it's basically all my wiring is confined to the island, and I got a long extension cord. You can see it there. And I took it back to an outlet for the US or the SB5. So because there's obviously no power in the middle of my room, but that's really where I wanted the booster. So just bought a like 25-foot extension cord. See, it's right here, and it's down to the other half of the room. But so that's the wiring. It's working pretty well. Had a few issues just figuring out exactly what to do, but once I figured it out, it's been pretty easy. So we go from under the layout to above the layout. So here I just wanted to point out where the power districts are. So like I said, the old half, right where the kind of the 2 turnouts meet, is where the split is. So this is one district here, the old half. And the yard to the bridge is the next district. So anything happens in the yard, it's limited to just that area. So then I go from the bridge all the way around the turn where the street running is, down to the turnout there for international paper, the in the street there. So that kind of is just a mainline district and international paper district. It really had no other way to do it, so they're just its own little power district. So then the next obvious place would be the plastics transload area here is its own district with Crenshaw lumber, and then this track here, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and actually going to go around to right about this curve turnout, and that'll be a district. And then the final district will be the final part, the ice cream cold storage yard here, and then there's just a single track that goes to the end of the layout, which will cross a bridge, which might be its own, but we'll figure that out. So that's the power districts. So now we're headed the other direction from the bridge where we started. So this is the street running, nothing really different. Tracks glued down and wired. I'm kind of planning things here, but we'll get into that in my next video, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. Go around the turn. Oh, this area I forgot. So I did deviate from the plan another bit here where this turn is kind of off the front a little bit. The plan had it right up on the edge, but I wanted to have like a view block building here. There's a very famous kind of, it's a church I believe, I'll throw a picture in right here on Harbor Boulevard, where there's a lot of pictures have been taken coming down the street from this way, and the photographs are like down there in front of the orange groves. But I thought it was a nice way to kind of cut the scene out, and then it kind of transitions to the the international paper and the industry side. So it just added a little straight section on the street part, and then over here just made it a little wider. That's all, nothing big. So there's international paper mocked up. I think I'm going to scratch build the whole thing, a la Boomer. But yeah, that's just a mock-up right now. There's the spur. Again, all of it's wired. And here I drew in Ball Road here. So it's about a foot wide, 5 lanes. Get down here so you can see that. And when it switches international paper, it'll stop here, cut some of the empties, or sorry, cut the cars, and it'll proceed across Ball Street back in with the to get those empties out, and then put the loaded ones in. But this intersection is kind of right where all the action's happening, so it goes through it several times. So it makes another operationally interesting feature, because you can't block the intersection. So now we'll move on to the plastics transload yard and Crenshaw lumber. So the plastics transload, I actually made it a little smaller, and I'll show you why in a second. Not much, but I could fit, I think, seven cars on that back track, the far track where I have my little truck loading. And that's where all the transloading happens. There's a little service road here. So you'll see trucks and pictures lined up getting the plastic pellets out. And then the second track would be more of a store the empties or whatever. I think, so looking back at some of the old SP trackage, like right here in front, there's probably, from here to international paper, there's probably 10 industries that were serviced by rail. You could see all the dead spurs in the Google Maps view. So I think this track might have been more to like hold some of those cars at one time back in the day, but now they just use it as a transload. And they'll also, so here's Crenshaw lumber. It's one of my 2 lumber dealers on the new half. I kind of just penciled in where it might be. This might be like kind of the office section cut out of it. And here's they have a dock in the yard that looks like it's more for box cars. They can get a box car, so it'll be somewhere here. And then I have room for So there's going to be a gate, which there is in real life right here. I plan to have like a working gate, again, for operational interest. And then you can get 4 cars in the gate, just in the gate. But it's more, they pretty much always just have 3, it looks like. So it's kind of a small footprint for it. It's a pretty big place, but this will work. So here I actually added kind of a team track at the end of this yard, and in looking at photographs, as I'll show right here, there still is a team track there, but the spur is gone. So it looks like they did use this at some point. So I'm just going to incorporate it in here for maybe for the SP side of things, or just use it for modern day as well. It's just a nice way to, get extra boxcar traffic, or flat cars even, if I want to do that. There actually is a team track on very near to the old half of my layout, which I'll show a picture here. And they use that one today, sending, I think, scrap or like paper products to Mexico or something like that. One of my Facebook groups, a guy takes photos of it, and they send like 1 or 2 boxcars a week to Mexico of paper scraps or shreds or something. But so I figured it'll fit in here nice. I kind of roughed in. So this is Catella Avenue roughed in, which is a very big cross street that leads right to Disneyland, I think. As you can see, it's got like a big median with palm trees. I just kind of drew it in. But so this is where the trucks to get their plastics also come through here. So I had to make sure I could get a road through there, which I kind of roughed in a little bit, but still the road will just kind of meander through here. It's kind of more or less, they got to back in, and they do in real life. So this track is totally buried. It's going to be just dirt. And then, so that's where I got to. This track is not glued down yet because I did not finish up this curve part yet. So that's as far as I've gotten with the build. Obviously the next part will be to finish this curve and work on this last section. Kind of last section. I still have the lift out bridge over there, but so it's another yard. This one's actually going to be easier than the others, I think, aside from these 2 curved turnouts I have to line up. But that's next. And then I got one last thing to show you. So the last thing is I picked up a Proto Throttle, which, if you don't know, it's kind of it's modeled after an EMD throttle from the locomotives, and it kind of just makes running the trains feel more realistic and more engaging, involving. They're not cheap, and no one says they are, but it's kind of a niche product, and a lot of I think they're very good for switching type layouts, because you're always kind of on the brake, on the notching up, things like that. So anyway, I got this. I'm not going to set it up till I get done with the track laying, because one, I think I got to do some work to switch over a lot of my decoder stuff, and it's also easier if you incorporate JMRI Loco Pro or whatever the Loco thing is. I have to do that, so it just seems like more new things to learn and do, and it just would, I think, distract me from finishing the track. But I'm looking forward to obviously using it. It makes everything wireless, so even though it doesn't, it just integrates in with the NCE. It doesn't replace it. You still need the NCE, but it's more of just a wireless throttle. So I had to go wireless anyway. I didn't really want to have this whole thing wired, but so I'll look forward to that after I get done with laying my track and using it. Well, thanks everyone. That'll do it for today. Like I said earlier, I am working on a layout overview / layout tour video. That will be the next video. And I should hit 1,000 subscribers here very soon. Maybe I'll have a 1,000 subscriber video giveaway as well. And then my next layout update should be probably before the end of May, once I get the other half finished. Thanks again. See you next time.